Here are 5 good reasons people donate their vehicle. 1. Because they like to skip the hassles involved with selling to strangers. 2. Because they'd rather save the trip and the cost of going to a repair shop. 3. Because they just want more for their car than a low trade-in deal. 4. Because it feels awesome to support a nonprofit and make a difference. 5. Because it's tax deductible and they like saving money. And one more great reason people donate their vehicle is because it's easy. Call our toll-free number or visit us online to donate today.
Good morning, and thank you for tuning in. I'm excited to have you here with me and excited about today's show. Of course, you know this is Morning Joy Mental Notes, and I am your host, Kenneth TJ Joyner. This show is brought to you by Therapeutic Interactions Counseling Services, where we provide all kinds of mental health services for the community over in Greenville, North Carolina. If you want to learn more about our services or just want to get in touch with us, you can always get in touch with us through our website, which is www.therapeuticinteractions.com, and that is spelled THERAPEUTICINteractions.com. Again, you can reach us by website, but you also can reach us by telephone if you will wish to. That number is 252-689-8671. Again, I'm excited about today's session and today's show because I'm going to be bringing some information that we've talked about a little bit before. So we're going to talk about self-care today, but I wanted to get more in depth about what that really looks like. I run across people that know the importance of self-care, and they know that it's something that they should implement in their day-to-day or their week-by-week activity, but sometimes they don't know exactly how to go forward with the steps to make that actionable, right? So they can say, yeah, I need to do self-care, but they want to make it actionable. So today I wanted to bring it in, not only because it's a very serious topic or important topic to me, but also because of the time of the year that we're in. I know it's a lot of students out here that are gearing up for the end of the year, which means a lot of exams, a lot of tests, which can bring about stress and overwhelm. And then it's a lot of people that business-wise are coming to the end of the fiscal year. So that means wrapping up a lot of business endeavors and things like that and just transitioning into that summer space. So I wanted to give them things that can help them to implement self-care and prevent burnout, right? So I got 4 tips for us today. And I just want to jump right into them. The first one is going to be doing something that doesn't require you to be bound by obligations. And what I mean by that is, as individuals in this life, we have a lot of hats that we wear. So a lot of y'all wear dual hats, multiple hats, right? So you might be a parent, you may be an employee, you may be a sibling who are supporting your family members, you may be a supportive friend, maybe a pet owner, like all of these different things that require you to take on certain responsibilities, and we just naturally grow into these spaces, right? So we start to learn, and it becomes almost like second nature for us to do these things. We get up every day, go to work, and we come home and we do what we got to do for the kids or the pets or our family and our friends. And we wear all of these different hats, and we don't stop and make sure that we got ourselves in order, right? That we have ourselves in order. So I want to make sure that we're making an intentional effort to put that self-care into place. So doing things that doesn't bound you to obligations or deadlines is going to be a big plus. What this looks like is hobbies. It can look simply like going and playing basketball with your homeboys, or sitting back and reading a book, or meeting with some friends and just sitting down to eat. Something that doesn't require you to pay attention to a specific set of rules or pay attention to a specific task and responsibility is going to be that important thing in this space. For some people, it's just going to look like shutting down a day or a portion of the day to just get rest and sleep, right? Which is okay. And that's something that I want you to start being intentional about. Just schedule that into your weekly routine or your daily routine as you go forward. Now, the second thing, which is one of my favorites in this list, is protecting your energy. I'm real big on protecting your energy and your peace. Now, some people may hear this and may think boundaries, which is right on spot, right? This is the thing that sometimes can go under the radar because we're so used to operating in the spaces that we're operating in and operating with the people that we're operating in. But your boundaries is a big portion of self-care. It's a big way for you to make sure that you're your optimal self, that you're on 100 day in and day out, right? Or rejuvenating after sleep to 100 day in and day out. So what that looks like is saying no to other people at times when you feel like your plate is full. Sometimes I may factor in like just scheduling certain things for myself to make sure that I don't get overwhelmed. So in my schedule on my phone, you may see me with a 5 to 7 block that's just blocked out for me. It's just nothing can go there. So if somebody calls me and says, hey, do you have this space available? Then the answer is going to be no, because I've already made sure that I set a boundary in my time or my schedule for myself in terms of self-care. Another thing may look like if I've said too many yeses this week to people. So if people keep asking me certain things and I've said too many yeses, then I might flip the switch over and say, okay, no more yeses for today. I have to give a no, no's up until the next time period. So what that may look like is somebody saying, hey, TJ, I got this thing that I need done and I need you to be able to help me with it. And I may have to let them know, hey, this week is kind of tough, right? I got so much stuff on my plate. So check back in with me over the weekend after I get past this stuff and let's get to it, right? But making sure that you set those boundaries is going to be a big, big plus in that conversation of self-care. Now, our third tip is going to be developing health. And the reason why I put it like that is because a lot of times when people hear the word health, they think about physical health, which is a portion of what I'm talking about, right? But I want us to make sure that mental health is something that we're focusing on too. So what this looks like is definitely prioritizing your nutrition. And you can start with small steps because every little bit counts to developing better care of self. So if you say, hey, I'm just not going to eat after 7 o'clock or eat heavy after 7 o'clock, you just implemented self-care. Right? Exercise. If you say, I'm going to go outside and walk the dog for 5 minutes every morning before I start my day, that is self-care. You're saying I'm giving myself a better option going towards developing self-health and physical health, right? But I want us to make sure that we also prioritize that mental health. What that looks like is decompression, right? Making sure that you have outlets to be able to talk about things. This is going to talk about your social component. So getting out and connecting with people, because that's under the mental health side of things, right? That psychological component, making sure that you're processing these psychological things in your psyche. The emotional opponent, again, as I said before, making sure that you're processing your feelings. So that can look like getting you a therapist and just checking in with them monthly, but it also could look like you maybe buying a self-help book and just reading through the self-help book maybe once a week or so, and just making sure that you're checking in with yourself physically and mentally, because that too is going to be self-help. And I promise you, if you do these things, you'll start to see a better quality of life. Some of those days that just feel like things are awful, things are down, they won't come as frequent or be as intense because you're making more priority for yourself as opposed to everything else around you, because we definitely are going to keep those things in place. Being honest, we're going to go to work because we have to survive. We're going to engage with family because we have to see them every day, and that's just what we're taught culturally to do, right? But this is something that we have to make sure we're intentional about, because it makes you your best self, and you can't do those other things at the level that you need to do them if you're not taking care of self first. So the last one, and I'll go through this one pretty quickly because it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's just hitting the reset button. What that means is vacation. Just pull away from your normal environments and your normal routines, like changing up that environment and routine, because it can become mundane, right? We can get so stuck in, oh, I have to go to this 9 to 5 day in and day out, or I have to do this day in and day out, that our body starts to become kind of frustrated with it, and it gets overwhelmed or it gets bored to a sense with it. So just kind of shaking things up and hitting that reset button. What that may look like is just getting away for a day, going to the beach and putting your feet in the water or digging your feet in the sand and saying, let me feel that and come back to this setup that I have at home, right? And that can be doing that or changing a routine. So if you find out a routine is starting to become too frustrating and you see those symptoms of burnout, that I'm unmotivated or I'm becoming fatigued on a regular basis or irritable more than usual, you say, hey, let me change the routine. Let me put something in my morning that can start to shake things up. So again, those are some tips for us to engage and make sure that we are increasing our intentionality about self-care, right? So I want you to make sure that you implement these things because, again, we're coming down to that crunch time, and that's everything that I have for us today. But I am excited about you going forth and implementing your self-care and then coming back next week with our next topic. But until next time, I want you to always remember to take care of yourself, right? Make sure that you protect your peace in these ways that we talked about. Know that you can always reach us over at therapeuticinteractions.com, and we will see each other again next month.